We're
yippee!
live.
We're live! And welcome. We have a special guest tonight. It is Shopow! Shopow! We have seen your world a few times. Hello Shopow, thank you so much for being here with us tonight and showing us your worlds. That's what we're gonna do for about 2 hours. Would you be able to present yourself really quick? Like, who are you, what you do?
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is Shopow. I am a world creator, DJ. Sometimes I'm a DJ. I'm a level designer, 3D environmental artist, designer. I also do music in the background, but for the majority of what I do here, I'm just a world creator. I do the funny placing blocks, placing rocks, and it's nice and fun. I've been doing it for about almost 4 years now. Oh god, that's a long time.
4 years.
But, yeah, almost. It's if I were to count, it's probably like 3.5 years now. So yeah, I started back in 2022 in May. So that's coming up, and I'll hit my 4-year anniversary. But yeah.
Oh, okay. And when did you start playing VRChat? Goodness.
I started on February 1st, 2017. That's the same day that VRChat became accessible to deskies. It released on Steam and was no longer a VR exclusive. VRChat was a thing before, like 2017, like was it 2014
so you were like one of
maybe?
The first...
But that was when it was only a VR exclusive. But yeah, my uncle introduced me to this headset, which was an Oculus, like the original Oculus, like dev kit, and he introduced me to this game. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a social platform. So I checked it out for like a week, and then got off. And then when I heard that was gonna come onto Steam on the 1st of February that year, I figured, okay, I'll just download it and then try it out in desktop. And it didn't feel the same like back then being a desky because you just have a flat screen. But eventually I got a headset, and it was the exact same experience, and it was cool.
Oh, so what made you want to make worlds then?
So when I started, what prompted me to start doing worlds was before VRChat, I would do a lot of building from Minecraft. That's where the roots started. So a long time ago, super small Shopow, when Minecraft came out, I tried playing that, and it was fun, and I really liked building, like with blocks and stuff. And whenever they would do updates, that means more blocks, and that's how the creative juices started flowing, and then more builds and everything. And then it got to the point where I started picking up commissions, and I started doing it professionally, and it was very fun. I worked for places like Hypixel that worked on Hightail. I also worked for YouTubers, content creators, you name it. I've probably been around there, and you probably don't even realize it, but it was pretty fun. And then after that, when VRChat started popping up on like 2017-18, when I started getting into there, I decided to just retire, because like at a certain point it's like you do so much, and there's like, what else is there to do? Because like it's fun, but it becomes the 2-week phase, the annual 2-week phase when you play that game. So I just like, sometimes I'll play that game Minecraft, but then it'll just become a 2-week phase. But then moving on to VRChat. When I started building, I tried to do avatars, and that was around SDK 2, and that was, I cannot do avatars for the life of me. I do know, I'm aware that avatars are a lot. Yeah, I'm aware that avatar creation nowadays is a lot easier. You have stuff like VRC Fury, you have modular avatar, you have Poyomi, you have all of these extra stuff you could just drag and drop, which is pretty nice. But at the time, I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to do avatars. So I figured, why not trying to do worlds? And then that's when it snapped. It felt reminiscent of building in Minecraft, except it's not with blocks. It's just
like real 3D.
Not blocks. It's real 3D models. It's like models, it's prefabs, there's textures, assets, there's everything. And I was like, whoa, this is like Minecraft on steroids when you're building. So that's how it became. When I started, I was not that good. I was just trying to learn how to do like the basics, like with udon graphing and figuring out how to model stuff. At the time, I had I would use this old laptop for a super long time. I had it for like 13 years. It was a gaming laptop. It was an MSI gaming laptop.
Okay.
13 years. And when I started, I had to use that, and I didn't have anything else. I couldn't save anything. Like that was like my only form of hardware. So I was pretty much limited on what I could do. I couldn't use Blender. I couldn't use Bakery. I couldn't use a lot of things. So I had to go down the prefab route, and that's the practice that I've started and developed up to today.
You have a crazy amount of worlds on VRChat. Already more than 40 something. If not 40, actually. Yeah, 40 worlds at the moment. And currently, so I did make a video about a project you're doing it right now, which is quite insane also. Project Inspiration. Would you be able to talk about this really quickly? What is it? What is Project Inspiration?
So Project Inspiration is a project that I wanted to do for a very long time. When I started doing worlds, I was inspired by two world creators. One of them was _Asylum, who is one of the first people who started the idea of doing a world a week. They did this project called, which is quote unquote World a Week, back in 2020, and that's back when I didn't do worlds. I would always visit all those worlds. It was really cool, and that inspired me to start getting into world creation and stuff. When I started, I did a world every month for like half of the year when I started, and then I just like slowed down on production. The second person that I got inspired by was a person named Flowers Right. She is also a world creator, and she does PC only worlds, but the way that she composes her environments and worlds it's interesting because she's also a musician and also a environment artist. So I can relate to a lot of the things, and I can pick up on the small details that she puts in when it comes to the music, the way that the environment, the buildings, the structures, the environment, the nature, that everything it's all fluid. So it really makes you feel immersed, and she's the second person that inspired me to start doing world creation and to do this project. Obviously, within the first few years, I wasn't that confident enough, that strong enough, that fast enough to do something like this, because other than Asylum and Cheezed, who's also doing world weekly uploads, nobody would do this.
It's a hard task.
It's amount of work. It's ambitious. It's like it takes a very special type of like person, and also very crazy, to pull something off like this. So Project Inspiration, going back into the topic, I figured that now that I had everything that I am confident to build with, and I have the design skills, I have the music skills, I have the ability to I have the network too, so I could contact people who can revise and give me feedback on the design, the pathing, everything when it comes to an environment. And any game that you play that has an environment, to be able to make it feel proper and do it fast, I figured to dedicate this year, 2026, to doing that. So when I started planning, that was around like June last year, and then I didn't start until developing like the worlds until like last November, and then I just went from there.
And it's currently this year through the year of 2026. We're gonna have, I believe, 52 worlds coming out. Are those worlds? Yep. Are we going to see those worlds tonight, or like a few of those worlds tonight? Is that the plan?
So tonight in terms of the project itself, I have 4 that I want to show you, because I have March up pretty much like publicly available. February is pretty much done. How I do things is when I started the uploads, January 1st happened to be on a Thursday, so obviously I'll upload on Thursdays. But sometimes there's weeks where it bleeds between months. So in the case of a situation where the week bleeds into the next month, I'll count it for the next month. So technically there is another Thursday next week in this month, but since that bleeds over to March, I'm going to count that as the first March world. So these 4 worlds I'm gonna bring you to is the
Cool.
entirety of March,
Cool.
from week 9 to 12.
Worlds that we haven't seen that are not
Yeah.
public yet, so pretty excited about that. Hello chat, hello Shadow Devil, who's also apparently a gold supporter for you, from you. Love your map. Hello Slavic, hello Sunny, hello Max, hello Akon. Shopow looks like VRChat Fox plushie. VRCat
Oh, yeah.
actually.
The VRChat. Yes, I'm
VRCat.
unofficial. I do not work for them. I'm just unofficial.
Unofficial VRCat. And miss you, Shopow. Alright. I'm gonna drink some water and we'll be ready to start exploring this. Oh my goodness, first world. What is this world currently we are in?
So this world is called When Mushrooms Whisper. This is the first week of March, and we're basically inside of a mushroom glade.
A mushroom glade. Okay.
Yes, so we'll be in this sort of like hallway corridor, and it's all like elevated. All the walls are elevated. There's a bunch of rocks and stones, and then you'll notice that there's a bunch of different types of mushrooms. There's the big blue ones, the flat orange ones, and then the round colored ones.
I'm gonna switch to POV and let's see what this is about. What? Okay. Hi.
You were bird. Hello, gamer.
Hello.
Hello, chat.
Alright, ready to go? I will... Hold up. Bam, there we go. I will follow your lead.
All right, cool. So this whole area right here is the spawn, and also forgot to mention. So
Yes.
in for these worlds for March, I figured that all of these worlds are going to be connected in one giant universe world.
Oh,
But
you
a
have
lot
a
of them
lore.
are like scattered. Yeah, there's lore, there's story to it.
Oh my god.
So a lot of the worlds in this project are going to be scattered around different areas, different like pretty much locations. But these first 3 I'm going to bring you to, this one, the next one after this, and then the third one after this, are all going to be relatively close to each other. So this one, it's going to be more of like a progression type of thing. So right now we're in a mushroom glade, and we're deep within the mountains in the middle of the night in the Aurora Borealis.
You have a very unique aesthetic on VRChat. All your worlds, they follow the same art direction, which I really like and appreciate.
Prefabs, baby. It's really nice.
When mushroom whisper. Yeah, very lovely
But yeah,
sky
one of
also.
the things, yes. So like, whenever I'm developing a world or designing a world, I always think about where the players are going to spawn, where they're going to go, and what they're going to see. And I also keep in mind like with the photographers too, because I want to make sure that there's no like quote unquote gray area. But if there is, it would have to make sense, right?
What's a gray area?
So the way that I see things is, you know how when you look at a photo and there's like a foreground subject and a background? There's typically like with really good photos, there isn't like what I call gray area where it's like noise in the photo. Like everything makes sense. So for a world like this, the foreground would be like the mushrooms. We've just walked into the lake here. There's also the mushrooms over here on the walls. There's the waterfall over here, and it's all acts like a foreground, especially with all the grass here and there. For the background, it's like the background would be like the skybox with the Aurora Borealis, the trees in the back, the big mountains in the back, and there would be pretty much that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
There wouldn't be that much gray area except for like maybe the walls, like the gray stone walls, but that's about it.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, I try to minimize as much like of that type of that zone, that gray area as much as I can. But if I need to, like using negative space where it's just like a big open field of grass, there's nothing much special, but it's just nice and simple, then I want to make sure that it feels natural, right? Because it wouldn't make sense to have like 3 trees placed beside each other very uniform, because then it would break immersion. It would feel like, oh, somebody placed these here.
True, sometimes also nature can do that, but it's pretty rare.
sometimes when you're placing things and designing like trees, mushrooms, rocks, and stuff, the nice thing is when you're doing that, you want to make it look natural. Place things unnatural because that's the beauty of nature is that things don't usually go in uniform, like uniform placement and stuff. Like with trees, like for these trees back here in the back, like they're all scattered. Like some of them are taller, some of them are shorter. There could be like clutters or bunches in the background trees that are all short. Some of them are all tall, but there's no like slight indicator of like, oh, it's tall, short, tall, short, tall, short.
I mean, we're also very
like,
small right now,
messy.
so everything feels a little bit big. We are we are pretty
Very
small.
small.
Bird size small and cat size small.
Very small. You can
I
come
do,
over here and this rock.
I do like the fading sound of the cascade over there
Yeah.
for the immersion. Okay, what's over
I
here?
try to make sure that there's some. It's just like one of the rocks I like to sit on. There's nothing much special, but it's like if you're using a short avatar like ours, then it's nice to have like some sort of high ground so you can see better.
Okay. So when you do worlds,
yeah.
you like think about placing or having like places like this that are elevated for short people, or like
Yeah.
point of views
No,
for the public.
Yeah, pretty much. Like whenever, so I'll try to guide you through what my thought process is.
Okay.
When I started designing this world, I had the idea of it being a mushroom glade. I wanted people to spawn into a so since this is progression based for these three worlds, I wanted to start in the mountains, and then the next one will be kind of on like the perimeter, and then the last one would be on the outskirts, outside of the mountain range. So for this one, we'll be deep in the mountains, and I wanted to make the spawn some sort of like cocoon, like a small circle. So it feels like you're being hugged. Everything's nice and close together, and the way that I have the spawn set up is I've always make sure that whenever users spawn into the world, the direction they're facing has to make sense. So when we spawned in there, we're already facing towards this cascade with the river and the waterfall in the distance. So now they have something that their brain picks up to go towards. And that's the path, because that's the only opening that you can really go to, right?
Yeah.
So now there's some sort of direction, and everything in the spawn is like a hint, a sort of like sneak preview of what's to come for the rest of this world. So when you go through that cascade, that small little door frame, then it opens up and you see this big, tall, this big long like river here. All the mushrooms, the colors pop out, the contrast with the blue to the orange.
Also love the small
yeah.
introduction of the title of the world that shows up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's always pretty nice. I've seen that also in pretty much most of your worlds. I appreciate it. I found it cool.
Yeah, that's a thing that I started doing like a lot, like 2.5 years ago now. Yeah, when I started, when I got my PC, one of my friends gave me a suggestion of like, oh, when you go into this new area, into this world, you should have like a thing from like Breath of the Wild from Zelda, where you know how like you enter a new area and it has like the sound cue and the text that fades in when you enter a new area. You should do something like that.
I love that
me
in
an example,
VRChat.
like here's like the sound for when you enter a new area in Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, I'll just use that because like it makes sense. At some point, I want to change the sound though.
Yeah,
But
make
it's
it
nice and simple.
like appropriate yourself something new. That would be lovely. I like to call it like introduction, or like no, not introduction, but like anticipation to the world. So you're like,
Yeah.
you spawn, but you're not in the world yet. You have to walk into it. So it's like you can wait before starting the game, kind of. Thank you for the follow, Chris.
That's pretty much how yeah, you're pretty much spot on with how I wanted to design this world, for example. That's pretty much like just for majority and just in general when I'm making a spawn, and then like the quote unquote play area where most users are gonna go to. But if it's something like a big open area where you just drop down in the middle of the world and there's no like sense of, oh, which direction I wanna go, then that's a different story, right?
Yeah. Is there anything more in this map that we can explore? Like a secret behind the cascade, maybe? Any secret?
There is. So this has been a running joke and gag that have people asked me for a long time because it is just standard in video games that there's something behind the waterfalls. I intentionally, purposely, deliberately do not put anything behind my waterfalls unless it's super important. I've only done that twice. No, 3 times.
Oh.
So if there's something that I need to put that will make sense to go through a waterfall, I will put that in there. There's nothing behind that waterfall. You could check, but there's nothing there.
I believe you. I believe you.
Mm.
I'll not wet my feathers.
Yeah, like for example, like when I did this one world with Nico who did Exoplanet Journey.
Oh, that was a collab with Nico.
Yeah.
This one?
That was a collab with Nico.
No,
it was a different world back last year. It was called Vinelux River. It was a moon river, or it was a moon planet that the skybox was designed and made by Nico, but the environment was made by me. In that world, you actually spawn inside of a cave, and then you walk out of a waterfall.
What's the world name?
It's called Vinelux River. Vinelux, and then river. But yeah, like that world, for example, is what I would do if I were to put something behind, or in this case, in front of a waterfall. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you walk out, when you spawn in, it's very bare. It's dark. Then there's a river, or just the waterfall. All you hear is the sounds, the light shack going through, and then you go through, and it just opens up, and it's like a wow factor.
The wow factor. Not a lot of world creators use that on VRChat, unfortunately. But this is such a huge, a good moment, especially for people who like exploring worlds on VRChat. Alright then, so that is going to be our first world, which is When Mushrooms Whisper from Project Inspiration. Is it the latest world that just released?
This is gonna be for next week.
Next week, okay, this world releases next week then, next Thursday?
Yes, next Thursday, yes.
What's the time?
So, when I release these worlds, it's always Thursday, so Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time for North America.
There you go.
So that's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Western Time for in Western Time. I think that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m. for British time, I think. Like GMT 0, I think.
I'm not sure.
My conversions are a little bit off right now. But yeah. 7 p.m. CST. Thursdays.
Shall we go to the next world?
Yeah. So this next world that we're going to go to is we're going to be going on to the perimeter of the mountain range. So this one is actually a requested world that I've been asked to do by quite a lot of people. So there's a world that I have uploaded a couple years ago called City of Liliya. It's a world that you spawn into this nice big open daytime city, and it's very big. There's lots of buildings that you can walk into. If you haven't been there, I would recommend going there. It's really nice.
I have been there. Lovely world.
People, the suggestion was that people wanted a nighttime version of that world. Okay. So what if we made that world nighttime, but it was in the past? Because in that world, there's mountains. But in here, we have mountains, but we're in the past. So let me drop the portal.
Okay. There we go. I have arrived.
Oh, you got the cool Lunar New Year's intro.
Oh yeah! That was expensive.
Real, I feel that. Also, sometimes people get bamboozled by my clone here.
Oh yeah!
Hold the tip jar.
That's cute. No, I like it.
But yeah, welcome to not City of Liliya, a Night in Liliya.
A Night in Liliya.
Yes.
Project Inspiration.
So this one is week 10, second week of March.
So the second week of March, okay.
It's pretty much the same as City in Liliya, except it's only half of it. One, because optimization issues, and also size, because I want to make sure that this is Quest compatible and iOS compatible. And two, I want to have some sort of focal point in the middle, some sort of direction to go straight I mean, like, there's also the side alleys here that we can go through. Right?
Yeah, this is calling for me like the
Moon in the middle, and then there's the valley with the big mountains.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be triggered if I don't explore the side alleys.
Oh yeah, we can go in the alleys.
I was joking, but we can go. I'll just follow you.
So when I was really curious with how the world would look if it was nighttime, and since I have a stronger computer now, I can bake lights and like use bakery. I can do a lot of things now that I wasn't able to with my older limiting hardware, my laptop. So when I was like doing the lighting for this, adding all the point lights, the spotlights, the directional light, it was just like, oh, and then baking it, like you see like the orange parts of like the lanterns here, like strike like the walls, and like you can see the dark parts too, like with the shadows.
Thank you for the follow, Nas. All of your worlds are Quest compatible, correct?
Like 95% of them are.
Okay. That is very much appreciated. How's the performance on Quest, do you know?
For Quest, it should be pretty good. I use a Quest 2 that I've so when the first headset that I owned was a Quest 2, and I've had it for 4 years. So when I test my worlds, I always make sure that I'm on Quest to see how it runs, and to make sure that the shaders are working, or if anything is like bugging out, if there's desyncing or anything like that. I try to aim for like 60, like 45 to 60 frames. But if I get around that with my super like old Quest 2, then for people who have like Quest 3s, Pros, or a lot more recent, like newer Quest headsets, then it should be a lot higher than that.
World creator who tests their worlds on Quest is very, very nice. I got sidetracked here. I saw a croissant. I got. Can I pick it up? No? Okay, never mind.
You cannot pick up the croissant.
Nah, but I do appreciate the croissant in the world. That is very lovely. I'm going to give this world a 20 out of 10. Actually, 20,000 out of 10.
Yes, there's a lot. If we go through the street, like
there's a lot of croissants.
This way. There's a lot of them. There's
this
lots
is
of,
my
like,
paradise.
Yeah, there's like a street side, like there's cafes and stuff. Since it's nighttime, all the cafes and buildings are closed, so we can't go inside of them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like there's donuts, there's croissants, there's eclairs, there's wine. Also, there's no colliders on the chairs. I was asked to do no colliders on the chairs, so I was like, okay, so people could like.
Oh yeah,
here, and then...
that's great. Actually, that is cool. That is really cool. Yes. Yeah, that's something. Like colliders on chairs is something I like to not have because I want to be able to sit down, and if there is a collider, I cannot sit down. But also, speaking of colliders, we all know you're a great world creator by the stairs being super smooth and not very choppy. Thank you.
Oh my god, yes, that's it. It's funny that you bring that up. So in my older world, I used to have something like that, and then I realized like this is not good etiquette. Like
no,
there's like etiquette rules when you're designing something, when you're building a world, and the stairs thing is like my pet peeve. Like if they're new, if it's like a world creator who's new, I'm like, okay, I understand that. But when it's somebody who's experienced, I'm like, you could just make the collider convex, and then it just makes it smooth. Because like I could be in VR and I walk up the stairs and it's just.
So etiquette in worlds creation is something that is not talked about enough, and I believe there is a world called Etiquette on VRChat that explains a few of them, but that's a bit too old now, and there is more. I feel like we need to talk about.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. That's what I'm referring to. I don't know if it was made by Juice.
It was made by Juice. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that's what I was referencing. Like when you brought that up, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that world. That's like the etiquette. Like when you're doing a world, like make sure that your shaders are nice. Make sure you're batching you're calling your batches and everything. Everything is like on GPU or CPU, depending what it is, and making sure that your stairs are smooth when you go up and down them.
I feel like I'm in the water park. I'm just gliding down. Let me drink some water really quick.
Make sure to hydrate.
We stay hydrated. Chat, if you have any question to Shopow or just want to show appreciation, the comments are here for that purpose.
One of the worlds I'm gonna do for April, I just want to do like I want to isolate like this part, make it its own world, where it's just like you're walking along like a park, or like a side of like a park, and it's just like water that goes down with the stairs that go into it, and then it's just like a super long like corridor with all the street lights and the bench, nice,
like a promenade.
Like grass and yeah.
That would be a lovely world to just, you know, bring your crush in and just walk.
Yeah, and I just want to like, I also want to put like different types of trees on that type of world too, so like the leaves and the branches overhang onto the walkway, so then it looks more cocooned, and it looks like more warm, more cozier, and then the trees, like the leaves can like fall down to in the same direction of where the stairs go.
I gotta ask something really quick. This feels very French. Is it just me? What's your inspiration?
Oh, for this, yeah, this is like very French. In the other area with the or the other world with City of Liliya, it's pretty much the same, but like with the architecture, like you can notice there's lots of French influences, a lot of European influences with like the overhangs, the pillars, the corners, the storefronts, and everything.
That's really cool. Did you make the assets, or are those like bundles you got on?
These are all assets that I paid for and stuff that I used.
Okay. And do you see the LODs also?
Like,
that's lovely.
Yeah, you can see the long...
Oops, hold on. My bad. I walked backward.
There's one thing to use prefabs and making sure they work, but the second, like another thing is making sure they work for like VR, because a lot of the things that I see in the asset store or booth or Jinxie or anything like that is like sometimes one of the most common issues that I see sometimes, especially with shaders, is when you import it for a game like this, like VR, and you check it in your VR headset, it'll render in one eye but not the other one. I've seen that happen like quite a bunch, and it's like, oh, it's just a shader issue though. Or sometimes when you're in VR and you look at things, it like has a bit of a weird like motion effect to it, probably because like the grass is like billboarded, or something's not right with the way that it's set up for the grass or the trees. But like the way that I think about it is, when you're using prefabs or assets, you want to make sure that you're accommodating for rendering everything twice, because you have your left eye and your right eye, right? On desktop it's fine, because you have it's meant for like one screen. But when you're doing something like this where it's for VR, like it's like, imagine playing or running a game twice at the same time, and you're looking at everything twice. Like that's how I would explain things, because you have to render everything twice. It has to
literally
accommodate
two
for both screens. Yeah.
And I believe they're like 4K or something, or 2K.
Yeah.
VR is
That's
expensive.
Why when you use like a headset, like a big screen beyond that has like 8K and 4K, and then you were to render that twice on a world, it's not recommended, but it looks really good. But it's probably not going to be optimized.
I'm sure it's gonna get better with time. That's what we're expecting.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
It's VR still a niche, so.
What is this?
Oh, the
Magic?
The magic circle.
The magic circle? Is this the One Ring? Oh my gosh.
The One Ring. This is still in this is like a reference back to an older world that I did, or not an older world. Well, I guess technically older world. There's a world that I released in this project in February that has this exact same.
Okay.
This exact same structure. So it's like, oh, we could use that to teleport to here, and we're in a different area.
Oh, that's cool. So, in your lore or in the universe, is it something we can look up somewhere, or do you have lore scattered in around the world, or something that just people have to come up with? How can we how do we know the lore, pretty much?
currently, as of right now, I don't have anything like publicly available. It's the only thing that people can really do is just make up their own stories and stuff. But having these worlds all connected through one project, they're all in the same universe. So it's whatever the viewers or the visitors can think of to their heart's content, right?
Okay.
Or something like this, you can clearly see that we're still in the mountains, but we're on the perimeter. And the last world that we were in, we were within the mountain range, and there's all the mushrooms. Same type of grass, same type of biome, trees, but it was a different location area. Yeah.
Nobody-san, hello. Corruptor, hello. Memoir Bloom, hello. Alright, let's move on to the next world then. That was
so
A Night in Liliya.
This one, yes, A Night in Liliya. So this next one I'm gonna bring you to. Oh, actually, here we can go this way. It would make sense if we do this. So technically, we're going to be walking out of the city. I'll just drop the portal over here.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna play 30 seconds of ad for the loading screen.
So then, when this next world comes out as well.
Okay.
So in terms of the story in this project, we are going to the outskirts of the mountains. We're going to go visit a very nice lush grasslands, and we'll have more. It's gonna be nice and simple, but this is I think this is where I start to really bump up the quality, the production.
Okay.
Also, you can play the music in this one. This one is made by my partner.
Oh. Alright, we will see that. Noboru-san!
Alright.
Adomi arigato!
Where grass can sing.
We're changing world. Okay, I'm a little bit small here. I mean, yeah.
You might want to scale up here. Well, welcome. Welcome to where grass can sing.
Oh. That is very lovely.
Yeah. So this world is where. So this location would be on the outskirts of the mountains. This one is a little bit more. Well, I mean, technically it is all fictional, but this one, I wanted to do a grasslands. I wanted to do a world that's super basic, like intentionally basic. Like I wanted to do a grasslands, and it's funny because from where I live, I live in the plains, so it's all flat. It's all grasslands. It doesn't look that interesting, but knowing where majority of users are, there's usually hills, there's mountains, there's like maybe there's a desert, maybe there's like the ocean, like the seaside. Where I'm from, we don't get any of that. It's just flat. So when I was doing this world, it was like it feels like I need to add more, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't do that. So with this world, I wanted to try and figure out how to use a different. I wanted to utilize a new grass shader. It's not the red sim one that everyone's been talking about. This was made before that one came out. So, have you ever been to that world Beyond a Bit?
Beyond a Bit. I think I have. That sounds very familiar.
It's a world where you spawn in this church, and there's a key that you
can
put inside a chest, and then the big music animation starts, and then the skybox changes, and it's really cool.
Yes.
And then you end up in the field like this. This uses the same exact grass shader that world uses. I've been able to get it, but it interestingly enough, it was not compatible for VR. So I had to ask a friend of mine who uses this, not the person who made Beyond a Bit, but another world creator who uses this this grass shader. I figured out how to make it work on Quest, on PC, and have it render for both eyes, and have it super optimized. Like on desktop, usually people would get around like 200, 300, maybe even 400.
Oh.
But for VR, it's around like how many frames are you getting?
Currently, I have 25 frames, but I also have like my POV on the camera, and I'm streaming.
You're streaming, yeah.
Just want to roll around in that grass from chat. Yeah, it really feels like you just want to roll around, lay down.
Like when I was working on the grass, like, and then I turned the lights down. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and nighttime, and with the Aurora Borealis, with the moving skybox. Like when I was able to get this exact look, I was just like, is insane. I wasn't able to look. I was just so focused on like the PC side of things, or like the one screen thing, which is like just for desktop. And I wasn't able to. I didn't really have the chance to look at it in VR. So like a week or two later, after I finished this world, I went onto VR and took a look at this, and holy moly, it was. I'm excited for when I release this one. Oh,
This is going to be
so lush. It's cozy.
March, third week of March.
For the third week of March. So this one would release on March 12th.
March 12 for this world. Project Inspiration where grass can sing.
Yes. So with this world, it's nice and lush. You can pretty much fall asleep in here, and the grass moves.
Yeah.
And the background music is made by my partner. She's amazing, and also she also did the sound design for the stars here. So if we go nearby a star like this one over here, you'll hear that there's like a sharp like crackling sound when you get close to it.
Oh
And
yes.
there's also a low. Yeah, there's also a super low like humming, pulsating sound too. There's like all the energy that's being harnessed from the ground here into the star because they all fell here.
So, whoa, okay, so those are like actual stars that fell down from the sky and they're like draining the energy from the Earth?
Yep. Pretty much.
Interesting.
And then you can see all the particles with them just going all the way up back into the sky, into the space.
I see the mushrooms again.
Yes, so there's some sort of correlation, there's a connection to that. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. So originally with the star idea, I wanted to use like a basic like emissive texture, so it's like kind of bright, but you can still see that it kind of glows. But then I figured I use a very specific water shader that's built in-house, and I had to change it up a bit so it's compatible for PC and Quest, and it's also optimized for something like this. I should have shown you in the other world, but basically the water that I would use, it would have like the depth to it. It would have like a shallow color, a deep color. You can see all the ripples, the effects, the normals, and also whenever it makes contact with any collider, there's edge foam, and it's emissive too. So in contact,
Oh yeah.
that was just how the water would look. But I figured, why not use the water shader for the stars? So when I changed the material, it gave this look. Obviously, I needed to change up a lot of the parameters, but I changed it enough so it looks like this, so it looks crystal. And it's just kind of see-through, and then it just looks like it blends in more. And also the edge foam, rather than it being just like foam for like the edge of like contact with water with like stone or sand, it's making contact with the grass, and it looks like it's just energy from the star just grabbing from the ground, right? So it makes sense.
That's pretty cool. How far can we go in this world?
Big brain. We can go pretty far. Also, like the lights that you see that are around the stars, that's not a real-time light. Those are actually painted onto the grass.
Oh.
Via the GPU grass shader.
Okay.
Yeah, but we can go pretty far here. Like this one. Same sound. Oh, I can't even get up on it. There you go.
Hi Cole. Hello just shown. Unstruck hello. Howler hello. I cannot. Oh my goodness, hold on.
You got it.
There we go.
There you go. Nice. But yeah. Oh, also. But yeah, that's for this world. Also, one thing I want to mention is sometimes, like the silly orange cat likes to be silly in the worlds.
Okay.
I like to do Easter eggs and and be really funny sometimes. Most of the time, my secrets are just hiding a very comically large prop. So like the one that I brought you to when we were recording in the Toulouse Light, there was that super large pine cone. And in a few other worlds, there's this one I did called the Oasis Ancient's Hide or Ancient's Hide. It's a beach world where you spawn inside this jungle, and it's nice and open. A lot of people seem to really like it. In that world, there's a super large banana and coconut that you can find, and you just throw it at people. Like sometimes, not every world, but some of the worlds, I like to hide these props around, and it's funny. People tend to remember those kinds of worlds for that.
there
But for
is
this
a
world,
secret in this world, you're saying?
There is a secret in this world, but it's not a super large prop. So with the sound of this star, the stars that make here, it's like the shimmering, high-pitched sound with like the crackling, and there's also the low hum sound. Every single one of these stars have that sound except for one, and happens to be that one over there. So
Oh, let's go
if you
see.
have your world volume up a little bit,
Yes.
this one's a little bit special.
The dear goddess, thank you for the you're awesome, but you're more awesome. Thank you. Whoa! What? What the heck?
Welcome to the special star.
That is that's trippy.
You know that meme of the guy that snores and he's going, oh.
Yes. Actually, I didn't even know
So I recorded
that it was someone
my
snoring.
own voice to try and replicate the low hum that the stars make, and then just put it into this one.
Wait, that's you doing this noise?
Yep. That's me going,
Oh my gosh.
Just imagine like when I release this world, some random person is gonna walk near this star and be like, "Oh, so what the?
Yeah.
What is that sound?" And then they hear this.
That's so funny.
It's crazy because like things like this are what people are going to remember the world by. So they bring more people in. So it's kind of a big brain move.
But what?
Kind of smart, but it's also really funny. Also free will. If I could just always forget, like I'm making
That's
these worlds,
definitely,
but I always forget I could do like little funny jokes here and there. That's what this here.
I love that. Actually, someone is sleeping inside this star. It's just very snoring.
Oh, yeah, people are gonna be lying. Like
That's snoring ASMR.
the snoring ASMR. Yes. Well, yeah,
You have to be pretty close to
for this world.
listen to it.
You have to be close
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right,
But yeah.
and that was When Grass Can Sing from Project Inspiration. Will release on the third week of March. So not yet released.
That will be the 12th.
March 12th.
Technically in March, that is the second week technically, but since the first, since February 26 bleeds into the next, into the March month, I'm just counting it for the 26th is when the March World's release.
Okay.
So it's a little bit offset, but yeah, March 12th for this one.
And that is how you use free will. This historic.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be more of that throughout this project. It'll be really funny. I could probably just like whenever you see stars like these pop up in my world, I'll probably put that in there. It'll be funny, some running gag. But yeah, all right.
Okay. Let's go to the next world.
So this next world I'm going to bring you to would be this is going to be the last world for March.
Okay.
So in this project, every last world for the month is going to be a remaster of an older world that I do. So for March, this one is called Ridged River. This one is a callback, reimagined look of the world that some of you might know called Bone Blossom, which is a world that I've done a couple years ago.
Is it the one that got nominated for VRCA or won VRCA?
Yeah, that was the one that got nominated in the VRCA's back. Not this one, but the year before, in 2024. It was nominated for Best Artistic Direction World Award. It didn't win, but it got nominated, which is pretty cool. So just to put into perspective, imagine the color palette that I do for those remaster worlds. So like Bone Blossom, but pink, blue, teal, and white with this same exact grass shader.
Oh, okay. Alright, changing world. Ridged River.
Welcome.
Oh, very pink.
Yes, this one's a little bit more simpler on the design stuff because I wanted to focus more on the grass for this world. So in comparison with Bone Blossom has a lot of different types of grass, but for something like this, I want to make it more calmer, more easier on the eyes in terms of how complicated the grass can be. So all the blades of grass here are just one type, which is technically the same grass shader that we saw in the last world.
Is it the same the same map as Bone Blossom, but different different colors.
Different look. Yeah,
Different
different
look?
look, different colors. So the remaster worlds that I'm doing are going to be the same exact layout, but the look is going to be almost completely different. So that goes from textures, prefabs, trees, mushrooms, bushes, music, skybox, colors, in terms of the post-processing, pretty much anything you can think of.
Wow,
The
I
only
love
thing
the
that's the
sky.
same is the layout. So it's like a remastered, reimagined look to it.
Very pretty. And we can walk on the water. Lovely.
Yes. I know
Can we
people
fall off the world?
Like to go on.
Question mark?
We can't. Technically, we can fall off the world. There is a certain point where the water just cuts off. Technically, we could do that.
Let's fall off the world.
All right. I cannot remember how large I made the water for this, so we should probably be either walking for like a whole minute or for a good like.
Oh, okay, okay. Love the pink.
But I do see the horizon line though. Oh, that's another thing to mention is like when I'm doing a world that utilizes water and stuff, I want to try to make sure that the horizon line doesn't like look too obvious. It's like a personal preference.
Yeah, I see that. That's really cool.
Sometimes I like to use horizon fog or just fog in general to try and cover up the harsh horizon line that the water makes. But
yeah, that's really cool.
Recently I stopped. Yeah, recently I stopped doing that. So I try to make sure that the water or the reflection in the water is like somewhat perfect to the skybox.
I can see the crystals from the previous world in the water here. the water texture you are talking about.
Oh, sorry?
I see the water texture you are talking about from the crystals.
Oh, yeah, this is the same exact water shader too.
Alright, let's drink some water since we are on water. And stay hydrated.
Hydrate. Make sure to hydrate.
Let's make sure to hydrate. Ah. Goodness. Lovely water. That's something I really appreciate, and that kind of breaks the immersion also when we see the edge of the world from far away, or we see like, if it's like a water plane, we see like the angle of the square of the water plane. And we don't see it here, which is nice.
And like obviously like in certain points of the skybox where it makes contact, like the horizon line where the skybox makes contact with the water, you can kind of see the horizon line, but
kind of
for a majority of it. It's also completely based off of context, like depending on what kind of skybox you're using, what kind of water shader you're using, if you want to use fog or not. So
and it's actually not blinding me also.
Fog. Yeah, we might. I think we're near the edge.
What a lovely water walk. Walking towards the sunset with Shopow, trying to fall off the world. And realize we cannot. If we can fall off the world, I'm going to remove 10 points of this world.
Don't worry, I'm pretty sure we can fall off.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on, I'm gonna fly up a little bit to see how far it is.
Okay. And there he goes.
We are close.
Oh, okay.
We are close.
We are close.
As long as we keep sprinting in this direction.
This has become a mission now. An expedition, trying to find the end of the world. We will find out if the Earth is flat. Or not.
Yes.
So this is a remaster from Bone Blossom with different colors, different assets, but same layout. Quest compatible also. Currently world hopping Shopow's worlds with Shopow. Worlds that are yet to be released. Appreciate everybody here for watching, and also huge appreciation to Shopow. The anticipation.
Glad to bring you here.
Thank you. He's bringing me to my death, by the way. My phantom death.
No, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, okay. It's okay, I'm a bird, I can fly away.
You have wings, you can fly. I don't.
Sometimes I cannot. But you're a cat, you always land on your 4 feet.
That's true. But what would there be to land on if we're falling?
Ah. Well, you're currently technically flying, so...
Yeah, let me see. Oh yeah.
We're close.
We are close.
More close? Okay.
Yes, I see the horizon line now. To be honest, I've never like actually walked to the edge of the map. This is the first time I've done that.
I don't know why I asked that, by the way. I just wanted to fall off the world because it's funny to fall off the world in the world creators. Like with the world creator.
Oh yeah.
This requires dedication. I mean, that's also something a lot of people try to do when they join a world, right? You're like on a balcony in an apartment. What do you do? First thing you do, you jump off the balcony. Oh my gosh, Shopow. Yes, this is Shopow.
Hello.
The intrusive thoughts, exactly.
I see the line. Hey, I need to go now.
My goodness, I'm going to enjoy falling off this world. Watch this. We've been walking for so long. I love the worlds they make. Your worlds are...
I might be blind.
Oh.
I don't think that was the line. I think that was just how far the camera can render.
Oh no.
I think
I do not see the island anymore.
We don't see it anymore.
I don't...
We're gone. We're lost. We're lost.
Where are we? I think we walked too far.
Lost here. Yeah,
Maybe the what?
The water is way
Okay.
too far.
Well, we cannot fall off the world. Dang it.
There is an end to it, but it's pretty far.
It's pretty far.
It's very far.
Eventually,
yes.
you'll reach the island again.
We're
Imagine.
not back to the island.
If we keep going, we just...
there.
If we keep walking, we just arrive on the other side.
We'll just end up in the older version.
We just look to the earth of the arch.
Which just happens to be the next world I want to bring you to.
Alright, alright. Shall we drop a new portal?
Yes, I will drop portal. So this world is Bone Blossom. So this is what this world would be based off of. We're going back in time. We're going to the original one.
Okay. Alright, changing world. To Bone Blossom this time.
Welcome back.
Bone Blossom. Alright, before we explore this world, I got a comment here saying, kinda miss the bigger worlds you made back in the days. But still, very pretty worlds, nonetheless, you keep doing. So, right now, I believe that's probably because you're making one world a week, but for this project inspiration, are we going to see a big world that requires like exploration, or like, you know, like a spaghetti noodle level design type?
So it's funny you bring that up. After this, I actually have plans for the next big project that I have after this project. So everything's already written out in my spreadsheet for this world. I have all the worlds ready to go. It's just a matter of developing them all. Once it's all done, I'm going to make a whole like official trailer preview of the project that features all 52 of them, because the one that I have, which is the quote-unquote teaser, only shows 9 of them.
Okay.
But after this project, I'll probably start developing. I'll probably start working on development next year. But the next project that I want to do is the exact opposite of what this is. So rather than 52 worlds, I'm going to work on one world. It's going to take quite a few years, because this is going to be a problem. Like, there's been times where I say, "Oh, this is like the biggest world I've done yet," but no, this would be like a magnum opus. This would be like, if I were to retire, this is the world that I want to, and I want to finish with. It's going to be a world that I'm going to work in production with. I'm going to be producing for quite a long time. And the nice thing is I work pretty fast and by myself, but I have a large network that could help me with a lot of little things like coding, programming, animations, and like sound design and everything. But it's basically imagine a massive exploration adventure world that is in the same style or idea of Genshin and Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
put into VRChat.
Is there going to be like a story, like a gameplay?
There will be a story. There will be a story.
Oh my god.
Everything in that world will be designed by me. And also, one thing that I don't usually... this is something that I really want to do, but as a musician, I know for a fact it's going to take a long time for me to do this. I'm classically trained and went to school for it. Is that all the worlds that I've done, all the music is not done by me. They're all from like YouTube, they're all covers, they're all orchestrations, everything. But for this world that I'm going to work on, all the music is going to be composed by me.
Oh, okay.
So that goes from the trailer, that goes from the spawn point, different zones, different areas, different regions. So when I do this project, this is all like up in the air right now and just brainstorming still. But basically, you would spawn inside of a small forest, and it's so imagine like the first world that we were in, where it had like the small cocoon spot with like the logs, the mushrooms, and the trees. But when we walk out, there's going to be like a character or some sort of like direction that you have to go through. It's going to be mostly adventure, mostly exploration, but it's going to be divided into different it's going to be divided into regions. It's going to be huge. I really want to make it quest compatible, but with the state of like how things are, it's going to be extremely hard to make it quest compatible with the scale of how large this world would be. I'm going to have to take the Genshin route where when I release this world, I'll probably have like 2 or 3 like regions ready to go, and then I'll just probably still continue working on it to work on like the next region and then the next region, and then eventually come to an end. So the first region would most likely be like a big forest highlands like region. The next one would be more like I'm not sure. Like this is all just brainstorming, just like ideas I'm throwing at you, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I do want to do a super large world.
Is this something that you're going to start making right after Project Inspiration?
I'm gonna do a small break after this project, because obviously it's a lot of work. But once I'm done my break, then it's back to Unity and working on that project. I'm gonna take a very slow approach to this and figuring out how I'm going to do all the storyboarding, all the storytelling, the designs, everything, and also the music composition. One thing that you might notice is when you look at games like Breath of the Wild or Genshin Impact or like these big open adventure RPG worlds, is that a lot of the music has symphonies, like symphonies, orchestras playing all the music, little like woodwind instruments, drums, brass instruments, all that stuff. And one thing that I learned from filmmaking and storytelling is that there's always an idea. Like, you know how when you listen to like a superhero, or when you watch a superhero movie or like a Pixar or Disney movie, there's the main theme that you can immediately know what movie that is. It has a main idea. So I want to do something like that. When I compose the music for this big project, I used to go to university for music, and I have the network, and I have the friends who play all these different instruments. I used to play for a wind ensemble, a symphony orchestra, a concert band, like small combinations, trios, duos, all that stuff. So once I'm done composing the entire score for this big world project I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go over to the university and have it recorded live, which will be very fun. So when you explore this world, all the instruments, all the music you'll hear will be live.
Interesting. I'm curious, what's the funding behind this? Because I believe this is going to cost a lot of money. Are you going to how are you going to fund this project?
I don't really. Since this is just based off of my own like my own free will in like my own project. I do things by myself, so I could crowd fund it, but I come from a background where it's like when it comes to money, I'm like very stingy and very like I don't like when people spend money on me. Like already having to set up my Patreon and creator economy is already enough. But like if you really wanted to help donate and help keep this thing alive, then you could just the most that you could do is just join my Patreon and stuff. It's not required, but it's heavily appreciated. You can visit all these worlds for free.
Speaking of, there is in all of your world a menu that is pretty much the same, and we can join your Patreon here, and we can also tip, I believe, on top of a copy of you, but I don't see it here. There's like a tip jar.
An older one. Yeah, this one is an older one. I don't want to put a tip jar, mainly for one specific reason. If you know, you know.
I do not know.
So, we'll cover that after this part.
Okay.
But yeah, like with the Patreon stuff, like if you really wanted to come by and support me, there's every one of my panels here. So the tip jar that you mentioned, that's for creator economy. That's just if you want to give me a tip, which is like $2.50 or something, which is like $1 or $2. But if you want to join the Patreon, I have a panel up here that's on usually my more recent, more updated worlds. If you click on it, there's an input prompt that pops up, and then it brings you to your Patreon. If you want to join my group, you can click on this one too, and it pulls up a prompt for the VRChat group. We're very close to 4,000. I'm very eager.
Almost to 4,000. Join the VRChat group of Shopow's Corner. Almost 4K.
Yes.
I'm already in that group.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
We're so close.
Are we going to explore this world, or is it just
Yes.
just a quick mention?
This one is just a quick mention, but we could just hang out and conclude like our tour here and just go into the ending part that you mentioned.
Can we
Bone
follow up the
Blossom
world here?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh wait, can we fall off the world here? Probably. But it's probably the same amount.
Same thing.
The same size as the last
Okay.
one. So we'll probably be walking for a
Let's not
super
do
long
that.
time. We learned our mistake from the last world.
We learned.
But yeah, so this world, the grass and everything, like the original look didn't have all this grass, like the different types of like bushes and stuff. It's very, it was more very 1.0 version. There was an update that I wanted to do for this world, where I wanted to like change the grass, give it a more like refurbished look. But the main idea why I wanted to update it was so at the beginning of this year, I discovered that there was a person who is a content creator that's associated with a YouTuber named Drumsy. Her name's Illy. And
Yes.
Unfortunately, she passed away from cystic fibrosis. It's a very bad condition. It's very sad, and she unfortunately passed from that. When Drumsy made a video about it, the last appearance of her happened to be in this world, and as you can tell, like I was in the middle of starting the project, and when I was told news about this, I was already 2 months ahead in development. I work ahead when I do this project, so in case of an emergency, when I need to do something important like this, for example, I have the leeway, or I can dedicate a week of not working on worlds to just do something like this, which is exactly what I did. So for the first week of January, I just, rather than working on the project, I just focused on making a small resting spot, a memorial somewhere in this world for her. The original idea for this world was that it was supposed to be a homeworld for a married couple of two friends of mine, very close friends of mine. So obviously I told them like the whole like story and everything, and they were more than welcome. They were happy to include it. So if you look behind me, there's a small section over there that we can go to, and that's the resting spot for her. Come this way.
I will follow.
Go up this hill up here. But yeah, so here is her resting spot. Over here is a panel with everything to know about her, and then there's also a little tombstone grave for her. And you mentioned about how I have a VRChat at my spawns with
Yes.
a tip jar. I didn't want to do that for this world because it would feel wrong. So rather, I still wanted to put VRChat in this world. So instead of having a tip jar, VRChat's over there planting another flower for the site, the memorial spot.
Oh. That is very thoughtful of you.
Yeah. This is not the first time I've done it. Unfortunately, this is not the first time that I've done like memorials or resting spots for people. So like I knew what to do. I did all the research and everything I could do. I reached out to her community. I reached out to Drumsy, reached out to people I can try to have some sort of contact with to make sure that this is done properly. And it was given the I was given the green light, and they seemed to they really liked it. I'm glad. I could make a resting spot, a place for people to visit for this person. Because I would assume I would guess that a majority, like 95% of like people who support Illy are on the internet and do not have the funds or the ability to go visit her physically. So I wanted to make a spot here for people to go visit.
May she rest in peace. That is really nice to have that you have done that.
Yeah. That like doing things like this, obviously it's very it's obviously very serious and it puts you in a certain state. When I was working on this, it reminded me of just like when I do worlds, it's not for like when I do worlds, it's not for the fame, it's not for the money or the recognition, it's not for any of the clout or anything. Like the original intention I wanted to do when I started doing worlds was to just, one, I can't do avatars obviously, but two, like I wanted to make people happy, and the best way I can do that is with worlds, whether that's with prefabs, with music that's made by me or not, whether it's models, things that are coded or anything really, whether it's like a home world, an environment, an interior, anything like that. I want to make a world that makes people happy, and if that works, if people get happy, then I did a good job. My mission accomplished.
That is adorable.
I always try to put others first before myself. So when I do these worlds, I always make sure and accommodate for what people would be thinking or what they would be experiencing.
Wow, I love that.
Like photographers.
I love that. All right. We do
let's go back to the log.
Yeah, we do have time for another world, and then we can finish with our outro. All
right.
So whoever made this map, we all love you. Well, Shopow made this map, and then Shopow is right here.
Hello. All right. What world should we go to? Nice. Let's go to one of the more active. Let's go to one of the more recent ones that are public.
Okay.
Let's go to this one.
Can I play this music?
No, don't play the music in here.
Okay.
It's a cover, but it's from Final Fantasy. I don't know if you want to play that.
I'll just not play, just in case.
Don't worry.
So
Everything
fun
else, though, should be
fact,
fine.
this is where I recorded the video explaining your project Inspiration. I remember this world. I also brought my people here, my community here, and we had a little game of trying to find what is interactable. Like the sticks. So we found sticks.
Did you find the big stick?
We found the big stick, or not me, but someone found the big stick. Someone called Myth Phoenix. Shout out.
Let's go.
I have no idea where it is, by the way, because I didn't find it.
Like, yeah, like that, for example, is like one like little Easter egg I like to put. Is just most of the time is just like a super large like prop somewhere. I'll just hide it somewhere, and if you find it, then
so that was the stick, the big stick.
Around with it.
That's funny.
The big stick. I can show you the big stick.
Where's the big
Hold on,
stick?
It's on the left over here.
It was kind of funny
I hid it in
to
the
actually
grass
find a
somewhere.
stick.
Should be somewhere around here.
Yes, it is called Bone Blossom.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
Ah, I can't see. Oh, there it is.
The big.
Oh
stick.
my
Let's bring it to
goodness.
the bridge.
I got the stick. I'll put it in my mouth. Oh.
Super large.
Okay.
Super large stick. And the funny thing is, it was completely unintentional, but I forgot to remove the collider on the super large prop. So you could technically just stand on this, and if you time it correctly, you can throw it at people and just fling them.
What?
Pretty much, yeah. Oh!
Okay, I'll stop. I tried. One thing I want to say, when we found the stick, I was like, oh my goodness, a stick. And whatever I do when I get a stick when I'm in the forest and next to a river, I throw it in the river.
Oh, let's go.
But it didn't float like the others. So I was like, aw.
Yeah, the collider in there.
Like there is
Usually,
like the
Yeah.
sticks that are already floating.
yeah, the sticks that are floating there are from the tree that fell there. So with this world, this is like a good example for like the smaller ones that I do with detail. So with this world, I wanted to do more focus on a rule that I do sometimes for worlds, where it's technically used for interior design, and it's called the 60-30-10 rule.
Oh.
So what that is, and then whenever you look at like these modern designs for interiors, it's more noticeable in Western architecture or interiors, but it's also noticeable in like more European. It's just in general. But basically,
What is it?
60% would be a primary color, 30% would be a complementary color, and 10% would be a strong accent. So sometimes I like to use that or utilize that in my worlds. So for this one, 60% is the orange, 30% is the green, and 10% is the purples.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they really look like, or this one in particular, when you spawn and you look at the bridge, it really looks like, well, that's the vision.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to look at. The rest is
When
exploration.
you spawn there, you're looking at the bridge, and then like you have a focal point to go to, and then when you're on the bridge, now you're the focal point. You look back, and then you see like the darker parts of the pine trees, and where the sun shaft is poking through on the skybox, with the clouds. So it works both ways.
Gonna drink some water
another
because
thing
we're
I
on the
wanted to-
water.
Yeah. Another thing that I've noticed too, like I like to do sometimes with worlds, is when I have a spawn, sometimes I like to do two paths. And for something like this, it's shaped like a donut, like a circle. And from that, I can tell if somebody's right-handed or left-handed.
Oh, really? Wait,
Yeah, because
I never realized.
So now that I mentioned this, whenever you go to worlds of mine, you're gonna notice that a lot of the time spawns will go either straight or to the right, because most people are right-handed. But for something like this, where you have either left or right, I've noticed that a lot of people, or some people, like to go left, and I always ask them if they're left-handed, which they are. Sometimes they're ambidextrous, but when they say they're left-handed, and I'm like, that's why you took the left path.
So you can
that's just like
you can test that with your friends, Chad, if you want to bring someone here and let them explore, see if they go left or right first, and figure out if they are left or right-handed.
Yeah, that's like one of the most simple, like basic things when it comes to designing or level designing, is making a path, like pathing players, knowing where you want to bring them and what you want them to see, and what the human tendencies that people are going to do. So in this case, most people, I should have brought you to the winter one, but the
There's
one
a
that we
winter one of
recorded
this one?
No. Remember the one that we recorded where you
Oh,
introduced
yes.
me on TikTok? Yeah,
Yes.
that one. When you spawn in that world, you take a right and then you go uphill. So with something like that, I always make sure that if there's a certain direction I want people to go to, I try to bring it out a lot. For that world, for example, it's all dark, and there's like a light shaft that pokes through like the door frame there with the rocks. And there's also like the sound cues. There's the light that comes from the directional light, and you have to go right as well. So
What's the name of the world?
Cues, to lose the light.
To lose the light.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this one. All right. I don't think we can follow this world. We actually tried. But it is a very pretty world. This was the second or third one that came out?
This is the second one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the second one. Also, one thing I also wanted to talk about is like with smaller environments, it's a lot easier to put more smaller details into it. So for example, when we took the left path, you could notice that there's a stump there, and I figured it would make no sense to just put a stump there and nothing after that. Well, in this context, so I used one of the trees and I removed all the pines, and then I made it look like it fell from that stump. And then there's also the bushes that it's poking through, and you'll see that there's also broken branches from the main part of the pine tree. And I wanted to try and match how many sticks I could put where in relation to where they broke off. So there'll be a stump.
Storytelling.
You're good?
Yeah.
yeah, with the details. So like we can go a little closer so it's easier to see. But yeah, like big stump, tree falls this way. There's also bush because of all of the foliage, and it has some parts in the branches and the twigs that broke off. So then these sticks that you see floating on the water have like an animation to it, and there's a ripple effect too. So like small little details like that I like to put in worlds. I don't do it very often with larger ones, except for the one I'm planning on doing in the future.
That's very cool. This is like lore, like just it makes the world alive, in my opinion. It's like there's something happened to this tree, and it makes sense when you look at it. I like when the worlds are like not perfect, but the chaos in them makes sense. It's like time.
Yeah, like it has.
Like it has a story.
It's alive, basically. Yeah.
Cool.
I always try to make sure that all these small details aren't noticeable for the most part, so that when people do notice them, there's a higher they appreciate it more.
I do appreciate it. Do you appreciate it, chat? That's a lovely world.
Glad you like it.
Where the Wind Steals by Shopow, Quest compatible and phone compatible and Apple compatible. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, why not make the project super like even harder by making it Quest and iOS compatible? Well, I know how to do it, so not
you
that
did
much
it.
Work. Yes.
Okay. We can go to the last world, explore it, and just hang out somewhere. Do the outro. Where can we be? Where can we go?
Let's go. Lots of decisions. There's lots of worlds we can go to.
Lots of worlds.
What are you feeling?
What am I feeling? Hold on. Let me see. I wonder if there is a world I do wanna check out. Chat, do you have a world from Shopow you know and you would like to see? Since we have Shopow here.
The more popular ones that we've already went to would probably be Bone Blossom. That was my most favorited one. But the most visited one would be like Isolated Mind, and there's like a few other ones that have like a lot of visits that most people would probably recognize.
I wondered if the crystal in the snow world meant anything. The snow world. Where to lose the light? This world?
Ooh, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think that's an old world. If you're talking about crystals in a winter world, you're talking about the snowy Borealis. That's a super old world of mine.
Oh.
That was my third world I've ever done. That one's super buggy though.
Should we check it out? Is it the one?
It's a super large world.
Snowy Borealis?
Yeah, we could go there.
Alright.
I don't usually go to my super old ones, but
Let's judge you.
it'll be interesting.
Alright, changing world. Ah! Okay. Ooh, the menu is different here. Yeah, that's an old world.
Yes, welcome. This is like this is like a super old world of mine. I haven't been here in like
How do I turn off the
God.
music?
that would be this one, the top gray one, the top white one.
Merry Christmas?
Yep,
Okay.
that one.
Also swim
Alright,
speed
cool.
all the way to 5. Or...
Yeah, this is when
Just
I
in
had like
case.
a super like busy info board. This is when I was still learning. I have like a community pictures board here too.
Killer Wolf Howler says, I love their older world so much.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, this is a super old world of mine. This was the world. So this is the third world that I've ever released. This is back in 2022. Yeah, that was 4 years. Oh god, that was 4 years ago.
Oh, I think I remember this world.
Yeah. So this world was actually the first one that I did. If you recognize it, you might recognize it from the remastered version of it, or the
What?
nighttime version where it's just this fun.
I remember the elks or the deers, I'm not sure what they were. The mooses.
The moose.
The
You know what makes
things.
no sense. Goose plural is geese. But
Oh.
why is moose plural not mooses? Geese, no? It's because moose.
Yeah,
it's
like
called
mouse
moose.
and mice. Oh.
Yeah. I never understood
Weird.
that. English hard sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I don't speak English.
I feel that. I speak English, but like there's so many rules in it that make no sense, and I'm like, bruh.
Bruh. Oh,
But
so we
yeah,
are currently
this
in
is
Snowy Borealis.
Snowy Borealis.
Quest compatible world. Yeah, I
Also,
remember.
this is like also to mention like this is before like we had like the updated UI, the groups, everything, the chat box. So when we didn't have chat boxes, we would have this in Worlds, and you would just like
Wow.
yeah, pretty much. We had to use the Uno
Yeah, I
keyboard.
remember.
So it was like necessary for Worlds to have like either pens and or like a keyboard for the mutes. We didn't have any of that unless you knew sign language.
Is there a way I can turn off the Patreon flare?
Oh, not for this one.
Not
This one
here?
uses this one uses an older system that I had. So the Patreon flare and the flame that I have above me, that was hard coded into the world.
Oh, okay.
That's before I had an automated system. So this one I just have to deal with having my head on fire. But yeah, welcome. This is a super old world of mine, but it's a
Wow, indeed. Yeah, I remember when I explored this world. That was like a long time ago. VRChat was
Sticks.
different. What, sticks? Same sticks, by the way.
yes. Yes.
Either
This
the
world
stick
is
do not age.
massive. We can go to the left, up to the uphill, which is a callback to
I got lost
the world
here
that
a lot.
That was tough. Yeah, like you can easy to get lost here. You can either go left, we can go up to the uphill, upslope. We can go straight to the pond, the frozen river where the penguins are.
If I
or we can
remember
go to the right
correctly,
where the
we can also like change the environment to be night, right? That's what I remember.
yeah, at the spawn there's different there's a lot of different skyboxes that it included. That was back then when I didn't know how to do certain things. So like excuse for some of the stuff that may be buggy and just looks weird.
Where is your favorite spot here? And also,
My favorite
what about the
spot-
crystals that we were talking about?
Oh, so I'm glad that it's interesting. Okay, so not a lot of people, from as far as I'm aware, like not a lot of people like to don't go to like the older worlds of mine, but very few amount of people bring up that the crystals in this world. So there's actually a story, an ongoing story that I'm writing. I'm currently have it on pause right now because I'm working on the project Inspiratio. But this world, along with a lot of the older ones, are connected through a story that I'm currently writing. It spans from the second world I've done, Mako's Memory, all the way to Of Azure Star Shine, which is the super large, like Pandora-like magical forests. It's currently on pause right now. The first chapter is already done, and I'm still working on the second one.
Okay.
I might just integrate like the super large project, like the super large world that I mentioned and I was explaining earlier, into that one.
I just want them to know they made a world that gave me lots of good memories with friends. Oh. If I remember correctly, there are weapons in that world that are hidden behind ice. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Opposite of this direction, over there, there's a secret cave that you can take. And there's weapons inside of there, but it's hidden behind an ice wall.
Is it your Easter egg?
Yeah, that's my Easter egg there for this one.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be this way.
Fishing spot.
Fire or the campsite.
Yeah, this world is huge. I do appreciate a good huge world like that. It makes me want to look everywhere.
I cannot wait to do a super large world again. Oh my goodness. Everything's been like super small and stuff, so it's good practice to get the hang of like smaller environments and stuff like that.
Don't overburn yourself also.
Thank you. I should be fine. I always take a break whenever. I also click on this crystal so we can go inside.
Oh! See, that I didn't know.
Yeah, so like whenever I'm done a month of worlds for the project, I always take like a week break so I can just relax and do whatever. And then after the week is done, I just go back into production.
Touching the gems makes sound? What?
Yeah. If you go to any of these gems, if you click on them, it makes sounds.
Oh! That's funny.
If you play Minecraft, which is probably much like everybody, when you play Minecraft, there in the caves, there's amethyst geodes. When you mine the amethyst blocks, it makes like the ping sound. It's the same exact sound of these crystals.
Oh! Yes, I do hear it. Okay, Minecraft's reference. And that is an old world. Do you remember like what year you released this world? Well, we can actually check, technically.
This year, this one was released in 2022.
2022.
In July.
Is this
July
where they
30th.
live? Question mark? Who?
Yeah, so a lot of these worlds that are older, the world description is a reference to the story. So if you look at them in order, it's from like a small little poem that I wrote. I can talk about this more another time, but yeah, it's pretty much covers like an older story that I wrote. There's also speaking of which, in terms of the story, if we come over here, there's a little secret skeleton that we can interact with. So in the story, at this point,
that is so
very
bright.
Crystal. Yeah. The reason why is because if we click on this skeleton right here. Oh, you put on the sunglasses. This is funny. But if you click on that skeleton,
Dead Australis member.
the pond over here.
Okay, I clicked it.
Yeah. So if you click on that and you come back to the pond in the cave here, I think something should pop up. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if you see it. Portal over there.
Oh yes.
So that portal is another world of mine. It's public. It's PC only though. So
Oh, creepy
in
Babylonian.
yeah, so in terms of the story,
Babylonica.
that skeleton is a adventurer that came from that castle and was given a task to find these magical crystals that power like an outer worldly multi-universe being. And they happened to stumble across, like, so remember how we passed by that campsite? That's actually their campsite. And they happened when they were walking around like the site to look for stuff or to take a break, they stumbled across this crystal cave, and that skeleton was actually them. They just died because of how powerful the crystals are. They couldn't couldn't control it, so they just died from it. So that's why when we go, if you ever go to
Interesting.
Babylonica,
Yeah, we have checked it
all
out
the
before.
skeletons there,
I remember the
all
skeletons.
the skeletons or people there are dead.
Yep.
Yep. And
It has also a very
in
unique
that world-
style.
Yeah, and in
I
that
liked it.
world, there's a room, a science room with a crystal, which is the same crystal from this cave.
Mm.
And if you ever put your ear up to it or listen to it or click on it, it plays music from this cave.
Is it the Minecraft music that I hear? Feels like Minecraft.
Yes,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But yeah, we can go.
There we
can
go.
back
So
to
we got
the-
some
to
crystal
that
lore.
website.
Hello, gamer man.
Crystal lore, yeah. I'm amazed that somebody actually brought that up. That's the first time anyone's ever asked me that.
Well, you do have a lot of fans of your world. What? Almost fail.
All right. And we can go to. I'll drop a portal to a smaller world of mine, and then we can conclude from there. Let's go to. Well, actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's respawn, and then I'll bring you to the world I think that you remember this from.
Okay.
So this world, when I worked on this, the background music is it's a reference to another world that I would go to every single night back in the day. I still go to it sometimes.
Okay.
It's called Hwabon Night Train, made by Bepsi Train. It's a Korean night train station based off of a real train station in Korea. And I would always go there before I started doing worlds, and I would always pass out and fall asleep on the underneath the overhangs on the rooftop.
You would
And
sleep
one
in
of the songs I
VR?
would play. Yeah, I do.
Crazy.
I don't do it as much anymore. It's just I'm busy working. But when I used to just chill in that world, one of the songs that played in the background was the song that plays in this world. So when I was working on this, I wanted to make a reference to that world. In that case, it was in the middle of winter, and it also had that music playing in the background.
Okay.
The artists for the song the song that plays in the background is called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. It's by a Japanese composer, pianist named Ryuichi Sakamoto. When I made this world, he was alive and thriving. But a couple years ago, I found out that he passed from cancer, and I wanted to do a tribute world that's based off of him. So I made a nighttime version of this world, and
Okay.
that's where we're going to finish up.
Nice.
So just to reiterate, this world is named Snowy Borealis, and then the one that I made for him is called Ryuichi's Borealis.
It is a public world,
Which is
correct?
his first name. It is a public world. This
Alright.
world as well as this other one.
Changing world.
So welcome to Ryuichi's Borealis. This will be the last world for the tour, for the stream. So
Nice.
basically just to put. Oh, I need to sneeze. Hold on. I don't like the cold sometimes. Oh no.
Oh no, it has phantom sneeze. Phantom cold.
Okay, we're good.
Goodness. Bless you.
Thank you. But yeah, so this is a another world, which is basically the same one of the last one that we did or that we visited, but this one is just a spawn. The music is the same, but the background music is the same song, but this version is actually the piano performance that the artists performed. We're actually listening to the composer, who's the one who passed. So I wanted to do a nighttime version of Snowy Borealis, but at the time I was overwhelmed, and also I didn't know that much in terms of nighttime environments. So I just put it on the back burner. I just like abandoned the project. And then 3 years later, I decided, after finding out about this artist passing, I came back to here, and then with all the new knowledge, all the experience that I got 3 years later, I decided to revive this project and work on rework it, make it a tribute for him.
Is there a place we can learn about the composer?
Yes, I actually made a special note up here.
Nice.
I don't do this very often. The only time I've done a special note was for this world and for Illy back in Bone Blossom. Those are the only 2 times I've done this. But I wanted to make it special, so I always include stuff like this.
That's lovely. Very thoughtful again. So there is no real exploration here. It's just it's the spawn.
It's just the spawn. It's more of like a chill small area that you can just like stargaze, look at the Borealis.
I believe there is nothing behind the waterfalls.
There is nothing behind the waterfall.
All right, let's do where should we be for the outro? I wonder.
Let's go over to the log over there. Right here.
Right here. And we are approaching the end of this exploration. So now I just want to spend some time just chatting a little bit, Shopow. And asking a few questions, especially if chat has a few questions. Feel free to ask them now. Anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, now is the time. And also, to start, I'd like to know, where can we find your work, or how can we support you in your work?
So where you can find me, I have a social page. I technically have a link tree, but you can mostly find me. You'll most likely find me on Twitter/X. I have a page there. It's just Shopow at Shopow VR, and I mostly just post. I just like do reposts of funny memes. I like to do posts of. That's where I do my announcements for my world releases, little teasers, little secret stuff here and there.
Okay.
Maybe sometimes I'll do little music ones here or there. But yeah, you can also find me there. You can also find me on my in my Discord server, which you can it's a bit hard to find it, but if you join my VRChat group, you can navigate through the panel there. Ideally, if you just look through my Twitter, on my bio there should be a link tree and everything. Also a YouTube where you can find all the world trailers that I make for my worlds, and also other special funny stuff. But yeah, those are typically my YouTube and Twitter. You can find me there.
Shopow, the unofficial VRChat.
Unofficial.
Unofficial. Did I say official? My bad. We have a question from Killer Wolf. What's the story about the world with the mud patch and the tree in the cave? It's an older world. Do you know which one?
Ooh, yeah, that's Cherry Cerulata. So that one is also tied towards the old story that I brought up with the crystal cave in the winter. So that one is based off of. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best because I don't really talk about the story. The last time I did that was last year. So I'm gonna try to wrap it in a nutshell.
Okay.
So basically, Cherry Cerulata. At that point in the story, remember that dead skeleton that we found in the crystal cave? So that skeleton actually belongs to, like, he's a part of this adventure exploration called the Astralis, where it's a group that was created in in a kingdom called Babylonica, which was Babylonica, that PC only world that you briefly saw from that portal. The king or the leader wanted to create this group to find more of these crystals, and the Astralis decided to go through. They had to go through a very long, tedious adventure. They went through 3 different worlds. They went through Autumn Astralis, which is the 4th world that I made, which is a pine/birch forest. It's a very old world of mine. That's the first one that's the first environment or area that they explored to. There's a secret in that world. If you go not out of bounds, but along the wall in the birch section, there is a secret opening with a dead skeleton. That's a reference to another one of the group members there that died from this big gem blast that we saw in the crystal cave.
Interesting.
The second area is Cherry Cerulata, the world that you're mentioning with the tree in the middle of the cave with the mud patch. That's the second area that they went to. That world, if you look around in that world, you're going to notice that there's a lot more dead skeletons. Those are also members of that Astralis group that are trying to look for this crystal cave. And then Snowy Borealis, the one that we were just in, is the last world, the last area that the Astralis went to. That campsite that we just passed by earlier is where it was intended that they just wanted to make a pit stop. They just set up camp, and then they wanted to like go ice fishing and just set up. Most of the people were just like sleeping and stuff, but the leader of the group went out and went to explore this snowy alpine, this mountain ridge. And then they came across that cave that you mentioned with the crystals, and they realized that is the crystals that power the universe and everything. So obviously, curiosity killed the cat. They went inside the cave and they realized, oh my god, there's crystals everywhere. We could power like universes with this. So because of their greed, they went further and further and further into the cave, eventually finding that super bright crystal that we saw. And he touched it, and then a big pulse of energy just exploded around the earth, around the whole universe, and it killed everybody.
Oh.
So that also teleport. It was so strong that it killed everybody and teleported everybody. So that Astralis team, those dead skeletons that you see in Autumn Astralis, Cherry Cerulata, and in Snowy Borealis, all of those dead skeletons are from the aftermath of that explosion. So whenever you visit my older worlds, whenever you see dead skeletons, that's a reference to that story from the big blast. That's why I have to call it.
That is a very deep story.
Yeah. So as a player who adventures through the older worlds, you're basically adventuring through the remnants of a story that was told.
Wow. My goodness, I wasn't expecting so much lore, so much backstory.
Yeah.
And that is great, because backstories usually make the worlds more enjoyable and make sense somehow, even if you don't know.
Yeah. A lot of the older worlds, like when I was starting to do world development, when I was working on the first worlds that I did, I already had a story in mind to do, like, just to kick me off into doing world creation. So like, why not do a story? So I planned like months in advance, like these worlds. So like a big in-depth story. Like by the time I worked on like the Snowy Borealis world, I was already working on like the last few worlds for the chapter.
The Mud Patch world is where my love that I live with now uses to have deep talks. That's lovely.
That's amazing. Dude, that's crazy.
What would you recommend to a beginner in creating worlds? Like which plugins to use?
I would recommend, if you want to, so there's 2 different ways that you could approach this. The approach that I took, well, I didn't have a choice for this, but you can either take the prefab route, which is like going on a Unity asset store if you want to like find free assets to get the hang of how to work with Unity and stuff. You could also go on Booth, you could go in Jinxie, you could go on Gumroad. There's also like there's also like a VRChat spreadsheet for a bunch of assets for like a pool table and stuff like that, but that's a bit hard to find. You could do the prefab route. Usually you could just go into the Unity asset store and find stuff that's free. and then just work off of that just to get the hang of designing and world building. If you want to take the harder approach or the more rewarding approach, you could also install Blender and you could model things from scratch. You could that side of things I'm not very familiar with because Blender scares me, obviously, and Blender is a very strong program. The learning curve is very steep, but once you know how to once you learn how to navigate the application and start to learn how to do the basics, once you do the famous donut tutorial, once you get the hang of that, you could also take that approach too when it comes to world development and world creation.
Yeah, and I would like to quickly mention also, like, this is like we're touching on like 3D modeling, 3D animation. Those are like skills that can be learned if you go to specialized school also, but that is expensive. And you can also watch tutorials, but usually tutorials, they don't tell you the etiquette and how to make things performant. But this is like a professional thing that you can technically, once you master, also work for big industries, like go into the video game industry, make worlds, work with movies, and all that stuff. Yeah. So it is a huge environment, and
that's That's like the nice thing about VRChat is when you're doing, like, not just for world creation, but like if you're doing worlds, if you're doing avatars, it always stems back to Blender and back to like Unity and stuff. So you're already after spending a lot of time in VRChat and you decide, oh, I want to start doing worlds or avatars. Now you're stepping into the realm where you're doing content and stuff, and it's really fun. You're gonna experience burnout. You're gonna experience like inspiration and stuff like that. You're gonna be putting yourself in a new environment that's gonna feel foreign, but just embrace it. Networking is your biggest like tool. It's very good to talk to people, to put yourself in groups and communities that have people in the same pond. Like, if you want to do world creation, I would recommend like doing world hops, photography hops, and trying to connect with some world creators. If you want, you could add me too if you want to talk more about how I do stuff in depth and detail. My username is just Shopow, SHOPOW.
I think we can also find you in new worlds when you release a new world.
Yeah, when you do whenever I do when I'm releasing my worlds on Thursdays, I always do a featured event for my group. Remember to join my group if you want to do that. But every time I release one, I will, in my VRChat group, Shopow's Corner, I will have an event that's featured in the Live Now tab, and you can join the instance that I set up for that for when the world comes live. So the next one is next Thursday.
What's some advice or words you want to give to your community?
There's a lot of cliche phrases I can say, but it just works because it makes sense. The reason why things are cliche is because it makes sense, and it just does. It does. But one thing that I want to tell people is, if you have a dream, go for it. Because if you don't make your dreams come true, you're only a dreamer.
Wow.
If you have an inspiration, if there's something that you want to do, whether it's a world, an avatar, you want to do music, you want to learn how to create a story, paint, or maybe do a sport, or do something that you have a flame that's ignited in your head, some sort of passion that you want to follow, you should follow it, because that may be your true calling. You could, like, if you're doing your 9 to 5 and on your free time you're doing like sketchbooking or avatar creation or animation on your free time, then if that's something that you really want to turn a hobby into a profession, then go for it. It's going to be hard. There's going to be obstacles, and there's going to be points in time where you feel like, I can't do this. I feel burnt out. I feel like I can't do anything anymore. Like, I need to take a break. Or you have some sort of like imposter syndrome, or you have some sort of like comparison that you compare yourself to others. Like, this is stuff that I also like experienced as an artist, not just as a world creator, but I grew up with a music, like on a side of my family that's mostly musicians, so it's already super competitive, right? You're listening to music that's like created by prodigies and musicians and composers that are trained. So having an inspiration rather than competition, think about collaboration. Rather than ego, think about humbleness. When you approach things, you want to make sure that you pay attention to where your roots are, because how a flower grows is how you water it. You start off as a seed, and you're interested in growing into a different kind of growing into a flower, into this type of species. You want to nurture this flower by giving it water, giving it sunlight, and that's how you grow as an artist, as an individual. And when you do something like art, you're learning more about yourself. People don't realize this, but when you do art, you're learning more about yourself. Including even learning the cons, even learning the hardships, the obstacles you overcome. Because as a person yourself, you're learning how to overcome that, not within the art, but as a human, as an individual yourself. And that's something that people seem to take for granted and don't realize until the very end.
Thank you,
so
Shopow.
whenever you do start doing world creation or art or anything really, always take it slow. Always listen to your inspiration, and always network, and just stay close to your friends and family and the people who support you.
Very important. We're approaching the time of the end. I do have one last question, me personally. Yeah. Do you have a favorite world on VRChat or a favorite world creator that would be an inspiration for you?
Oh man, that's a hard question. That's like asking a musician what his favorite song is, which is also a question I've been given. My favorite world? There's
world
so
or world
many.
Creator?
I'll give you both.
Okay.
My favorite world is Treehouse in the Shade by 1001. It is a very old world that's made back in 2018. It's a treehouse, or it's a tree in the middle with a treehouse in the that's stationed like slightly above it. It's a very, very old world. It's PC only, but that world is one of the first worlds I would bring people to when they are first introduced to VRChat. It is a gorgeous world. It uses very marching shaders, which is like very fancy shaders to make the environment look cool. It makes like there's like a panel in this treehouse where you could change the skybox. You could change it from like a deep sea ocean with jellyfish. You can make it into like a cool like room with like electricity, like something like from the Matrix, or like a super large like open world like ocean. Like that world is super pretty, and that's my favorite.
It's a pretty world.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
What about the world creator?
My favorite, oh man, my favorite world creator. Well, creators. There's a lot
to name a few
of creators. There's too many. There's a lot of world creators that I really like, a lot of which I'm friends with. But if I had to pick, like, there's two that come to mind, and I mentioned them earlier in the stream. One of them would be Asylum, who is the person who inspired me to do a project like this and to start doing world creation. The way that they do worlds is like the stylized feel of it, the cartoony feel, making some sort of story when you walk into these worlds and you explore it. It really feels like like you're a part of it when you go into a different realm, in this case of virtual reality. My second inspiration would be Flowers Right, who's the person who did like I have to find it.
Flowers Right. I remember they make very
Flowers
emotional
Right.
worlds.
She does. Oh my goodness, her worlds are so good. Her style when it comes to doing environments, like with Asylum, hers are more stylized and they're more cartoony and they're more like playful. It's more fluid. With Flowers Right, it's more storytelling. There's like more emphasis on the details, the bigger picture. There's the sound design, there's the music, there's obviously it's PC only, so the scale of how she does things, it's amazing. like it really feels immersive, like a painting that you're walking through. And those two creators are what inspired me to start doing world creation. I wanted to make something that's like an amalgamation of both of their themes, their styles, but put it through my own lens, my own perspective, and turn that into the quote-unquote Shopow look.
Thank you, Shopow. And we're all rooting for you for Project Inspiration. Everybody appreciates your work and your worlds. They have made memories to a lot of people. They do stand out also. Also, thank you so much for joining me tonight and exploring the world, your world, with me, with your commentaries. That was very lovely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We're gonna end it here.
Reminding me.
And thank you for watching also. You'll have a good night or day. And
have a good
thank
night
you
again,
again.
gamers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.